and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about astral projection. So this was a requested topic and actually won the votes in our poll on the community tab. So if you want to partake in the next topics and have a say in what the next video is, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and hit the bell so that way you can vote in the next poll. But today, besides astral projection, we are going to talk a little bit about lucid dreaming, answer a specific questions that one of you had about astral projection, and a little bit about bilocation, which is also requested. So if you like this kind of thing and you want to be part of our community growing together on our sacred journey, then please subscribe. But without further ado, let's go. And then I do want to give a quick shout out to our newest member, Alex. Thank you so much for being a part of our growing family, our Sacred Ancestors family in the membership tab. I do want to shout her out. She has a YouTube channel and she also is a tarot reader. So if you want to look at her channel, you can find her at Jade Tarot. So I will link her info below if you want to go give her some love. But let's continue on with today's video. So remember, if you watched my last video, I said I wanted to go to my RV because we're not currently living in the RV. As you can see, I'm like in a solid house right now. I'm in Nebraska with my boyfriend's family just for the winter. We are going to get back on the road, back in the RV in April, which I'm totally looking forward to. If you haven't noticed, a lot of my recent videos, I've been pretty quiet and tame. It's normally because my boyfriend's mom works at home right upstairs and she's currently at the grocery store right now. So I'm trying to get this video in for you guys quickly where I can be my authentic, loud speaking self. But yeah, so I went to the RV to get my book, which I wrote down my most recent super cool astral projection. And I grabbed all my books, went through everything, and I couldn't find it. So I don't know if I misplaced where I wrote down my experience or I just never wrote it down, because I do remember vocally telling my boyfriend about it, and telling someone your experience is another way to remember it. So I'm just gonna go off memory of my most recent astral projection experience. So this is when we were in New Mexico, so right before we moved here. I remember leaving my body in the astral realm, which we'll talk about that when we get to tips, because we are going to be talking about a little bit of tips in this video. And I remember leaving my body and going out the window just right outside the RV. And as soon as I went outside the RV, there were this huge circular spaceship above the RV, like kind of in the distance. And it was really, really skinny, like almost flat. And there was all these people running and then shooting back at it. And I remember asking this lady like what was going on. She was like, "You got to come with us." So she took me somewhere, and this is where it gets weird because I don't remember the specific details. I wish I found my notes. But she took me somewhere which looked like Earth, but it was in a different plane. Like everything was very similar, but not. And I was like in this big spiral building, like a castle kind of, and all the rooms were very small. And she was taking me to my room, which was literally like a bathroom size, like small bathroom size, little bunk bed space to live. So that's all I really remember. So there was like a UFO and being taken somewhere, which was like Earth, but not. So I don't know what to take from that. I wish I found my notes. But anyways, let's move on to the question that one of you asked. So you specifically wanted to know, in the astral plane, do the planets and universe look vivid like in real life? Are the people sentient or just a simulation from my mind? Are they fake? Am I imagining it? So I believe it's all on your belief. I honestly believe when you astral project, you're going somewhere else. I believe we are interdimensional beings that can travel with our soul to other dimensions, other realms, other densities. So I think that's what's happening when our physical body goes to sleep. Our consciousness can travel other places. And I believe in other places there are other sentient beings that live there. And I've talked about my experiences with mermaids and spirit guides, and the whole reason I believe they're real is that they say things that I don't think. So they say things that I wouldn't even know about. That's the main difference for me, is they say things that I don't even know. So how would a person I'm making up with my mind know things that I don't? They have to be separate, right? And then another thing is when you like meet them in the astral or even in a lucid dream, you can meet spirit guides. You can call them forth, which we'll talk about. Um, there's just something about their presence that feels powerful, and after your experience is over, when you wake up or whatever, you can't stop thinking about that experience. It sticks with you. So if that was just a figment of your imagination, I feel like it wouldn't be such a rare feeling. So that's another reason, is it just feels like otherworldly when you're in the presence of other beings. And then as for like the atmosphere or appearance of the world or planet, at first, when I first travel somewhere, it's kind of hazy and you have to really focus your mind to sharpen the images. So not really change the what you're seeing, but just for you to focus into what you're looking at. So your surroundings could be very sharp and vivid, or for me, they start off pretty hazy and like gloomy atmospheres. But then I've been other places that are super bright right away. But I think that kind of has to do with your mind and focusing and not getting too excited and waking up or popping back to your body. So you want to focus on sharpening your surroundings. And then I'm gonna go over some tips shortly, but I wanted to throw out bilocation. Someone said if I should look into it. So I did, and all I really got was that bilocation, however you say it, is being in two places at one time. I just thought from the research looking into it, it sounded very similar like astral projection. And there's like proven facts and experiences of public speakers giving the speech in two places at one time, or somebody seeing them somewhere when someone else saw them somewhere else. Like there's proven experiences out there. But I'm not very, I don't know, I'm more interested in astral projection, going to sleep at night, because I can't do it yet during meditation. I have to be in that sleep area, sleeping atmosphere, comfy in my bed, to be able to travel astrally. So technically your body is in the bed, but your like spirit is somewhere else. So I guess the difference is that you actually look like yourself in the real world and it's happening at the same time. I don't know. I'm not that interested in bilocation. So if you requested that, I feel like it's too similar to astral projection to do more research into it. It kind of feels like the same thing. But what do you guys think if you're interested in bilocation? Are they different? What are your differences? What do you think about that? But let's move on to the tips and tricks. So I have other astral projection videos where I've talked about some tips, but I will say, because since I couldn't find my notes of my most recent experience, I wanted to have another astral projection, like a new, fresh experience for you guys for this video. And for the past 2 weeks, because I post almost every 2 weeks, I've been getting in that, trying to follow my tips of doing it. And the first tip I have, which I've mentioned before, is you need to be in the same location. So sleeping every night in the same place for at least 2 months. And we moved here on the 17th. So the 2 months is almost here. So I'm kind of saying that that's why it hasn't happened yet, is because my first tip or rule hasn't came yet. We haven't been here actually 2 whole months yet. But by the time you watch this, we would probably have. So hopefully I have one by then. So another thing I've been doing these past 2 weeks is finding my books that I used to read all the time for help. So I highly recommend this book if you're interested in astral projection. It's a little worn down because I think it got wet in our RV one time, but it's called Out of Body Experiences: How to Have Them and What to Expect by Robert Peterson. So I will link this below if you want to buy one. I've read it front to back, and I was flipping through it before I posted this video, because another tip is you want to read about astral projection, lucid dreaming, out-of-body experiences before you go to bed, because that gets your mind really focusing on it. And this book is great because it gives you all bunch of tips that I actually use, and it gives a bunch of his experiences. But he goes into depth about the feeling of when you are about to astral project, about to leave your body. So he's really good at descriptions of the exact feeling. And I just love he gives you his story, so his experiences. But basically, from the beginning, astral projection, you go to sleep at night, and at some random moment, your body is still asleep, but your mind and consciousness are awake. And sometimes it feels like I open my real eyes, but it's not my physical eyes. And it's the whole room is dark because I'm sleeping in the dark and it's at nighttime. So I feel like I'm open my eyes and that I woke up, but I didn't. I'm in my body. And then other things you're going to feel are intense vibrations, which I've mentioned. It's so intense sometimes that you can't, like, you wake up. So you have to just surrender to the vibrations. If you felt them, you know what I'm talking about. And like, I've had visuals with the vibrations of like going down a tunnel or like a third eye projection, and like skyrocketing in a jet feeling during this phase. You just have to go through it, and as soon as it stops, or sometimes during, you can leave your body. And my best technique for leaving your body is just to roll out of your body. So like think about throwing yourself on the floor. That's what I do. In this book, he talks about like pulling yourself out of your body, like doing something with your arms and this and that. But you want to, that's why I recommend the book, is to find things that work for you. But I'm just like, pretend you fall off your bed. And if you do fall off your bed in real life, at least you were practicing and you're getting ready for that. And then another thing with astral projection, the vibration part, or when you wake up your eyes before the vibrations come, you'll start hearing things, and this is already you tuning in to another dimension, to the astral realm. You can hear conversations, you could hear music, you can start seeing things. So if you haven't left your body, you're still looking around with your eyes open in the room. You might see dark figures, shadow people, which I've briefly talked about before in another video. And you'll also start feeling things. So I've talked about feeling like somebody is trying to pull me out of my bed, like by my feet or my arm. I've had feelings of someone rubbing my head, and I all think that it was my higher self or a spirit guide trying to help me leave my body, to go on an adventure, to go learn something. So I know it can be scary, all of those things, but that's the main thing about astral projection. Another tip is you have to let go of fear, and this is very hard for people. So the experience of death or seeing scary things, you have to get over that. And one of the main things that I suggest is realizing that you are a powerful you can scare away any low vibrational being just being yourself, being a high vibrational thing. You can blast things out of your view. I've shined light out of my hand to like fry things. You can just mentally get rid of things, or you can call upon aid. So from angels or deities, deities, goddesses, you can call them in to help yourself. Or you can even call in family members that have passed away or pets that have passed away. You can call them in to protect you from whatever you're feeling scared about. Okay, let's see. What other tips do I have for you guys, since this video is kind of like just me talking to you? Okay, I like this one, which also came from the book. So if you wear watches, you want to get your mind wondering if this is real life. that way you can wake yourself up if you were in a dream. Because if you're actually dreaming, you can then change that to an astral projection or a lucid dream. And a lucid dream is just knowing that you are dreaming, and then you can control the dream or ask characters questions or call upon your spirit guides or whatever you want. Go flying around. I love flying. Recently, flying in a dream has turned into me riding a broom around, which is perfect for me. But yeah, so when you're in your waking life, there's something that you always do. So if you open a door, you're doing something, you're at work, go to the bathroom, you're at your house, you go into your house. So when you open the door, take a second to ask yourself if this is a dream. I use the watch. I'm not wearing a watch, but at work, whenever I check the time, I take a moment, look around, and ask myself, is this a dream? And the reason you do this is when you are dreaming, you'll do that when you walk through a door or look at your watch in a dream. You'll do that. You'll ask yourself, and then most likely you'll be able to tell the difference, like something looks off here. So that is all preparing yourself to being more aware when you're sleeping. Another tip, which this might be why I've been struggling, although it hasn't been the 2 months, I used to astral project the most when I was most physically fit. So when I was at my healthiest and drinking the most water is when I was having the most astral projections. I think because my vibration was higher, so it was easier to get into that realm. But reading that book, he said he's done it at his healthiest and when he's not at his healthiest, and he can still do it. So it might just be a preference, might work for some and not for others. But so far for me, when I'm at my healthiest, mentally, physically, is when I can astral project the easiest. And let's see, I know this video is all over the place, but during that vibration, when you feel people touching you or hearing things, it's also called sleep paralysis. So if you're prone to sleep paralysis, that's actually step 1 of astral projection. So you can use that uncomfortable feeling or experience to easily get into the astral realm. So when you are aware that you cannot move, that's when you want to either call on the vibrations or think in your mind or say out loud, I want to astral travel, I want to astral project. And then one thing you want to do as well, this is a good tip, is you have to have an intention. So you can go into it blind, like I have been like, I want to astral project. I leave my body and I just explore the surrounding area, or I just let whatever happen, whatever I meet, whatever I see, happen. Or you can set an intention, like I really want to do this. So for some of you know that I dislocated my kneecap in September, and it takes a long time to heal. It's healed, but it's super sore, and I'm still very scared, like walking up and down stairs, climbing ladders at work. And when you astral project, you can heal yourself. So I want to do Reiki healing on my knee when I'm in the astral realm, because they say it speeds up the healing process even more than in the waking life. So you can do healing stuff in your dream, in your astral projection. You can ask a higher self or spirit guide or healer to come to you and do it to your knee or heal yourself. You can meditate in the astral realm, which I heard or read from books is super crazy experience. But before you do that, I would recommend at least you like be comfortable meditating in the real life, which I need to get better at. But I know this video is all over the place. I hope I answered some questions. I really just wanted to be able to talk freely with you guys because I haven't done that in a while, not being in my RV and my own space. So it's just nice to let it all out and talk about whatever I'm feeling and thinking about the requested topic. So I will say I have a lot of fun things coming up for you guys. So I know a lot of you have reached out to me about things you want me to talk about. So there's a lot more coming. I hope to have more than 2 videos a month. But I love you guys and I appreciate your support. Thank you for being here. Please let me know if this content is helping you and what you would like to see in the next video. So thank you so much and I hope you have a great day. Bye!